Hello again. Since the year 2000, the phrase black pharaohs has been circulating on the internet. It's funny, I've checked the indices of a lot of books on Egyptology and archaeology, books of mine, books in the library. I can't find any trace at all of the expression black pharaohs before the turn of the present century. It's certainly not an ancient or accepted expression, put it like that. It's strange that no one for thousands of years has thought of talking about black pharaohs, and then suddenly in the last 15 or 20 years it's become accepted as a thing. You know, one sees it without quotation marks as though it's quite unremarkable. It all started in the year 2000 with the publication of a book called Black Pharaohs. The book was published by an obscure company called Rubicon and sets out the idea that some pharaohs from Nubia were actually black. This was the beginning of the whole black pharaohs thing that we see a lot these days. I can think of two possible explanations for the sudden rise of the idea of black pharaohs. One is that there's been a vast conspiracy of all archaeologists and historians since about 700 BC to avoid mentioning the fact that there were black pharaohs. I can't honestly see how this would work. I'm even thinking of the 20th century. I'm sure someone would have broken cover and let the truth know, let things, let the cat out the bag, as it were. The other possible explanation, of course, is that this is just crank history, that this is just another of those weird books like Chariots of the Gods or Lobsang Rampa. I don't have time today to talk at length about this alternative history. It's led to black people in the United States saying things like we were kings and queens, and the whole Egypt thing has become quite a popular idea now amongst black people in America. The idea that at one time they ruled Egypt. Let me just run through what is accepted, and then tomorrow I will talk in more length about this specific idea. What's indisputable is that there was an ancient civilization in Egypt from about 5,000 years ago. They expanded from the Mediterranean shore of Egypt. They expanded south into what is today Sudan and established a colony in Nubia. There's no dispute at all about this. At some stage, the pharaohs in Egypt proper became weak, a state of civil war began, and the governor, the head of the colony in Nubia, took the opportunity to seize the throne in Egypt and have himself declared as a pharaoh. There's no dispute whatsoever about any of that. I'll go into this tomorrow, but before that I want people to think a little about the concept of colonies. What do we mean by a colony? Nubia was an Egyptian colony. Who rules colonies? Are they ruled by the indigenous inhabitants, or are they ruled by representatives of the colonial power? So in the case of Nubia, who do people think was running Nubia at the time of the civil war? Was it Nubians, or was it people whose Egyptian families had come down to rule it? I'll leave you with this thought. Nigeria was a British colony containing mostly black people. The person governing it wasn't actually black, though. Here's the Governor General of Nigeria in 1919. I just want people to bear all this in mind so that when we start thinking tomorrow about the colony of Nubia rebelling and the Nubians taking over the throne of Egypt, I want us to bear in mind that doesn't necessarily mean that it was one of the Nubian people. Nubia had many black people living there. Anyway, that's all I've really got time for today.